The one dangerous idea of Prophet Muhammad that reshaped human history. Imagine a man born 1,400 years ago in a place where people buried their own baby daughters alive, where slavery was as normal as breathing, where the strong crushed the weak and called it tradition. And this one man had an idea so threatening to the powerful people of his time that they threw rocks at him. They made him bleed. They drove him out of his own city. And yet, that idea was so powerful that today, 1.8 billion people live by it. What was that idea? Today, we're going to talk about the single most dangerous and most beautiful idea of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and how it changed the world forever. Part 1. The world before the idea. To understand how radical this idea was, you need to understand the world it was born into. Pre-Islamic Arabia. Around 600 CE, rich men could own as many slaves as they wanted. No limits. Women had no rights. They were passed from father to husband like property. If a baby girl was born, many families considered it a disgrace and buried her alive. Tribal leaders were the law. If the chief said it, it was done. The entire system was simple: power equals rights. And into this world, in 570 CE, in the city of Mecca, a boy was born. His name was Muhammad, peace be upon him. He grew up as an orphan, no powerful father, no royal bloodline. He was known as Al-Amin, the trustworthy one. And at the age of 40, everything changed. Part 2. What was the idea? At 40 years old, Muhammad, peace be upon him, received revelation from God, the Quran, and the very first verse that came down: read, in the name of your Lord who created. Quran, Surah Al-Alaq, 96:1. Not pray, not fast, not obey the chief. The very first command was read, learn, seek knowledge. That alone was revolutionary. But then came the idea that changed everything. O mankind, we created you from a single male and female and made you into nations and tribes so that you may know one another. Truly, the most honored of you in God's sight is the most righteous. Quran, Surah Al-Hujurat, 49:13. Read that again. In a world where your value was your tribe, your wealth, your race, your bloodline, this verse said, none of that matters to God. Only your character matters. That was dangerous. Because if all humans are equal in God's eyes, then slavery is wrong. Then women deserve rights. Then the poor man's voice matters. Then no one gets to sit on top of others just because of where they were born. The powerful people of Mecca understood this immediately. This wasn't just religion. This was a threat to their entire system, and that's why they tried to stop it. Part 3. Bilal's story, the idea in action. If you want to see this idea come alive, look at one man's story. His name was Bilal ibn Rabah. He was an enslaved man, brought from Ethiopia, dark skin, deep, powerful voice. His master, Umayyah ibn Khalaf, would drag him into the hot desert sand, lay him down, and place a massive rock on his chest. Deny your God, he said, denounce Muhammad, and I'll let you go. Every time Bilal would say just one word: Ahad, Ahad. God is one, God is one. Then Prophet Muhammad's closest companion, Abu Bakr, came and bought Bilal's freedom. He was free. And what did the Prophet do with this formerly enslaved man? He gave him the most honored role in the Muslim community. Bilal became the first muezzin, the one who calls all of humanity to prayer. When Mecca was finally opened and the Prophet entered the Kaaba, he asked Bilal to climb to the roof of the holiest house in Islam and give the call to prayer. A black, formerly enslaved man, standing on top of the Kaaba, while the former slave owners stood below. This wasn't symbolism, this was the idea in action. Part 4. The Rights of Women. Now let's talk about something that surprises a lot of people. What did Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, say about women? In 7th century Arabia, first, the Quran directly condemned the practice of burying baby girls. And when one of them is given news of a baby girl, his face darkens and he chokes with grief. How evil is what they judge. Quran, Surah An-Nahl, 1658 to 59. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever has 3 daughters raises them well, educates them, and treats them with kindness. For him is paradise." Hadith, Abu Dawud. And then there's something most people don't know. Islam gave women the right to own property, inherit wealth, and keep their own earnings. In 1620 CE, the UK gave married women the right to own property in 1870. That's 1,250 years later. The Prophet, peace be upon him, also said in his final sermon that women have rights over their husbands just as husbands have rights over them. In 7th century Arabia, this was not just forward thinking, this was revolutionary. Part 5. The Poor and the Forgotten. Prophet Muhammad's idea didn't stop at equality, it went further. He introduced the concept of zakat, a mandatory giving of wealth. If you have more than enough, you must give a portion to those who have nothing. And those who store up gold and silver and do not spend it in God's way, give them news of a painful punishment. Quran, Surah At-Tawbah, 934. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, said something so simple and so powerful. He is not a believer who goes to sleep with a full stomach while his neighbor is hungry. Hadith al-Bahaki. Think about this. This was a structured wealth redistribution system, with no government forcing it, no IRS, no tax authority. Just conscience. Just the idea that your neighbor's hunger is your problem too. This idea directly challenged the rich merchant class of Mecca, who kept getting richer while the poor stayed poor. And they hated it, which is why they tried so hard to stop him. Part 6. The Knowledge Revolution. Remember that very first verse. Read. The Prophet, peace be upon him, didn't just say it once, he kept saying it. Seeking knowledge is an obligation upon every Muslim. Hadith Ibn Majah. Whoever goes out in search of knowledge is in the path of God. Hadith Tirmidhi. What happened as a result? From the 8th to the 13th century, while much of Europe was in what historians call the Dark Ages, the Muslim world was in a golden age of science, medicine, and philosophy. Al-Khwarizmi invented algebra. The word algorithm comes from his name. Ibn Sina wrote a medical encyclopedia that was used in European universities until the 1600s. Ibn al-Haytham wrote the foundational book on optics, how light and vision work. Al-Idrisi created one of the most accurate maps of the world in 1154. All of this because of one command, read, Part 7, the last sermon that said it all. In the final year of his life, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, stood before 124,000 people on the plains of Arafat. He gave what would become his final major speech. And in that speech, he said words that would take the rest of the world more than 1,000 years to catch up to. O people, no Arab has superiority over a non-Arab, no non-Arab has superiority over an Arab, No white person has superiority over a black person. No black person has superiority over a white person, except through righteousness and good conduct. Hadith Musnad Ahmad. He said this in 632 CE. The UN's Universal Declaration of Human Rights came in 1948. That's 1,316 years later. Closing. The idea is still alive. So, what was this dangerous idea? It was simple 3 words: all humans are equal. That idea was dangerous to the powerful because it stripped away their justification for power. It was dangerous to the slave owners, the tribal chiefs, the merchants who exploited the poor. But it was the truth. And truth is the most dangerous thing in the world to those who benefit from lies. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, didn't start with an army. He didn't start with money. He started with an idea. And that idea, 1,400 years later, still lives in the hearts of 1.8 billion people. Whether you're Muslim or not, whether you agree with everything or not, you cannot look at history honestly and deny this. This man changed the world. If this video made you think, give it a like and share it with someone. Drop a comment below. What surprised you the most?